Now, y'all remember yesterday we talked about this book right here, and I told you all about it. If you missed it, go back and watch yesterday's video. We talked about it right in the beginning. You ain't got to wait that long to actually hear about it. But let me tell you, baby, this book right here is making waves, and we are getting all kinds of juicy little tea being dropped out from here and there, and the girls are reading and dragging Andy down for filth. We got to talk about some things that Candiace has said. Another castmate from the Real Housewives of New York had then said what Andy said about the altercation between Monique and Candiace. And then we got to talk about Sheree Whitfield. What's going on with Sheree? We got some questions, and we're going to get into some things right now. What's going on, Skye Squad? We are back in the building. Thirsty Thursdays, baby. It is almost the weekend, and we about to get into some things. Now, I already told y'all what we were talking about today, but listen, if you are in the chatterization right now, if you're watching this thing live, go ahead and drop that location in the chatterization because, you know, we like to know where you're watching from. We got the stories that we're going to be talking about today. And you know what? I'm not going to hold y'all for too long, but we got to talk about a couple of things, okay? I see the Sunshine State is in the building. Durham, North Carolina, California, Dominica. Hey, the UK is here, baby. Chicago. Hey, Sagamore Hills. I see you. Memphis, Prairieville, baby. Darien, Georgia, St. Lucia, Austin, Texas, New Haven, Connecticut. Who else is in this building? Hey, sending love from the Big Apple, baby. Scottsdale. I need to make it out to Scottsdale. Oh, that's Scottsdale, Georgia. My bad, baby. Chicago, New York all day. At home in California. I see you, Colorado. You know how to internship out in Colorado? Hey, who else we got in here? DC, New Orleans, Paris, France. Oh, yes. Come on, Paris, Chicago, South Carolina, Georgia, Louisiana's up in here. Let's go ahead and get into the subjects at hand. All right. Now, our first topic of the day is about Miss Sheree. What is going on down to the Georgia with Miss Sheree Whitfield? Well, let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it. Because it might just be spring summer, y'all. I mean, we passed September, but it might be spring summer for the people, okay? Something for the people right here with Sheree. Now, if you guys head on over to her Instagram, you will notice that it has become very curated, right? And I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Because what I feel like is she is working to brand herself in her Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like She by Sheree is finally coming to fruition. Now, I know she had put out a little set before, right? But I feel in my spirit, I tell you, I feel it in my spirits that Sheree is about to pull the whammy on us come time for her to film with these ladies, and she's going to have She by Sheree ready for spring, summer 2022, y'all. Yes. Okay. Let's get into it. Tina says, hey, Richie, it's almost mother freaking weekend. Yes, baby. Yes, it is. All right. Thank you for that super chat. Now, all right. Here's why I say I believe that she is finally coming out with the line. Now, if you look right here, she says, it's she for me, hashtag loving me, hashtag She by Sheree. Now, right under that, you have a caption from Portia that reads, can't wait. So that means that obviously something is coming, right? And you see here we have her posted up with, it looks like to be, this could almost be a fitness type app. You know what I'm saying? And somebody even said Fit by Sheree. I could totally see her doing something like this because y'all know Sheree has got the body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. And she's always had it. She says, I'm focused, man. Jay-Z voice health is wealth. I am, and you see what I mean by the curation of it all right here, right? So in my mind, I'm really assuming that she will be coming out with some type of either fitness app or again, workout apparel, brand, wear, or what have you. And this to me seems right up her alley. I feel like this is in line with her brand in terms of her, she's always been in this realm. So it's perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? Tish P says, so the fashion line will finally have that. Tish, y'all so silly, baby. Y'all so silly. Yeah, it's giving me real fitness app, and I'm all the way here for it. I just want y'all to know that I'm so supportive of anybody that's doing anything, especially anybody in a minority community who is putting together a business. I'm supportive of it, and if she has some men's fashions, I would get me some joggers too. Okay. Sheree, if you're watching, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, go ahead and put some joggers in there for some men. We like to work out too. Give me he by Sheree. Okay, give me he by Sheree. Because he, as in I, need some more workout clothes too. And I'm tired of spending all my money at the Under Armour, okay? And the Adidas. All right. Anyway, JJ says fashions with no fashions. How dreadful. Will always be one of my most iconic reads. That came from our good old Dwight from back in the day. Okay. Good old Dwight. Tina says maybe she called Tyrone to get a loan. Y'all are so get out of here. Get out of here. T Ness. Okay. Now, it want to read. It was just a good idea, right? He by Sheree. I mean, fashion's for him. Because if it's she by Sheree, it ain't meant for me. So he by Sheree, it's for me. That's all I'm saying. I'm buying. If you flying Sheree, I'm buying. Okay, I'm here for it. Will the fashion show have fashions this time around? It looked like it. It looks like it. Okay, it looked like it. Migdalia says, I'm here for a workout by her. She looks great. And that she does. That she does. We don't have to give props where the props is due. Sheree got the body. Listen, she could have been selling these things and doing the fitness app during the entire time she was off this show, and people still probably would have been buying it. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, though. That's just me. Let's get on to our next topic, y'all. Okay. So this one is a little bit deeper. Okay. We talked about this book yesterday, and it's called Not All Diamonds and Rose by Dave Quinn. A lot of housewives were interviewed. Andy Cohen was interviewed. Producers were interviewed, to really spill the behind the scenes tea. I went to Barnes and Noble yesterday to get my hard copy, but honestly, when I got there, she said that they didn't have any and they would have to order it. Then I went on Amazon, and apparently the hard copy is out of stock, and they wouldn't have it to me by November the 2nd. Now, I don't have time to be waiting around to November 2nd. So now I'm gonna have to go download it and read it on my phone or a Kindle type of device, whatever. Anyway, the social media streets is letting us know what's really going on. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this. Now, I'm trying to, this is where I'll go first. I'll start with Candace. And let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. Because Candace has some things to say about the situation with regards to her and Monique. Okay. Now, she is reading him down. All right. She's reading him down. Candace says, and this comes from Reality TV Source, who pulled this excerpt from the book. So shout out to my boo over at Reality TV Source. Y'all make sure to follow. Candace says, I even reached out to Andy's assistant and asked for him to call me. Nothing. That's effed up. I know he has well over 100 housewives, all texting and calling him all the time, but how many of them were physically attacked on camera by their co-star? The fact that he couldn't even schedule 10 minutes to reach out to me, you don't give an F. You are making money off our backs and feeding your son with it. And you just don't give an F about us. And you can't tell me that you do. And when I saw him, I did say it to his face. So people are asking, where did I get this photo of Candace? This is from her first cast photo from season 3, her season 3 cast photo. This is the photo. So just to give you guys a little bit more context, there are quite a few housewives who are reading Andy in this book. Okay. Now, Candace right here says that Andy is making money off our backs and feeding your son with it. And you just don't give an F about us. And you can't tell me that you do. Okay. Now, I'm going to actually take a sidebar right here. Okay. And I'm going to point out something from our friends over at the Real Housewives franchise. Now, in this post, this is by Carol Radziwill. Okay, she is reading Andy down as well. Many of you guys may not know who Carol Radziwill is, but she and Bethany were really close friends on the Real Housewives of New York City. They went head to head in Carol's final season after Bethany turned on her. But according to Bethany, Carol turned on her, and they just had the biggest blow up. It was huge. And it really came down to what happened at the reunion when Carol asked Andy, "Are you afraid of Bethany too?" So we all thought that that was what sealed her fate because she was not asked to come back the next season on the show. However, it is being reported in this book that it really wasn't that actually set Andy off about Carol. It was the fact that she posted something on her Instagram stories that asked people if they had ever done something for money, if they had ever done something or participated in something that went against everything that they believed in, and still decided to do it anyway, or something like that. Now, she says she was just soul searching, but he thought it was her talking about her experience on the Real Housewives of New York. Okay. So when he caught wind of that, he said this. He told this to Dave in his book. Carol's post basically implied that she was leaving a really toxic situation. Andy then went on to say, "It really rubbed me the wrong way because I really felt like I had changed her life." Okay. Now, Carol says in the book that Andy went ballistic and she had to eventually tell him to never contact her again. And then he said that she is not the person I used to know. So it's interesting that he feels like he changed her life because Carol tweeted this when she found out about what he said about her in the book. She says, "Just another man telling a woman she ought to be more grateful. Housewives changed Andy Cohen's life, not mine. And Bravo built a $100 million franchise on the backs of women. Let's not get it twisted." So the reason why I bring up Carol Radziwill with regards to what with regards to what she said was because it also hints at something that Candace says in her excerpt in the book. She says that you are making money off our backs and feeding your son with it, and you just don't give an F about us, and you can't tell me that you do. So I want you guys to notice the common thread here is that some of the women are beginning to feel like the show is, the network is being built off the backs of the women that are featured on the franchises. Okay. Now let's take it a step further. All right. So, and yes, Carol is indeed, Carol is an award-winning journalist. She's written, I think, 2 bestsellers. She used to be a producer for ABC News, and she is, in fact, a real princess. So just to give you guys a little bit of context about who she is and why he is saying that he changed her life. It was kind of like saying that it was kind of like Dorit saying to Garcelle that she was looking and searching for relevancy. Garcelle is completely relevant, specifically not only just in the African American community, but just in the entertainment community at large. You understand what I'm saying? So Carol does have some clout within the industry that she has worked in. Now, let's take things over to what he had to say about the Monique and Candace situation from his perspective with regards to Monique. So he says this. He says, we don't like when ish like this happens, meaning the altercation. He says, it's a bad look for the series. It's not why we created this series. This show is not meant to be the Bad Girls Club. It's not meant to be Love and Hip Hop. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I would say about this comparison. To me, listen, of course, nobody wants to have a physical altercation. That's bottom line. But I just find it interesting that this fight, this altercation was so completely, quote unquote, polarizing, and then equated to shows with, a large portion of minority talent like Bad Girls Club and Love and Hip Hop. Okay, because at this point, from Monique's perspective, she felt like, apparently, according to this, she says Andy was really there for me when all this stuff was going down. Now, this is contrast to what Candace had to say. Monique says, I didn't feel like I was getting support from anybody, and I wanted an unbiased ear, someone who had been around so much of this who could give me some advice. So it's very, very interesting that different ladies had different perspectives on him, but that he has this perspective on the altercation. This is why I want to say this is what took me so long today to pull up to get on the live, because I had to go back and I had to really get some things out. Now, before the Monique and Candace altercation ever even happened, there was this altercation in New Jersey, okay? I can't remember if this was season 3, 4, or 5, but it was definitely a big brawl between Joe Gorga and Joe Giudice fighting down to the cash trip, okay? I'm going to get to Beverly Hills in a second. Thank you, JMW. I'm going to get to that. Now, here's the thing. This altercation happened between Joe Gorga and Joe Giudice way back in season 3, 4, 5, or whatever of New Jersey. Nobody made any big deal about this. Oh, Sir Capricorn says it was season 5. Nobody made any big deal about this at all. Okay, nobody said anything about. Nobody called this WWE. Nobody said it was what's another show that they fight on? Nobody called it Real World or nothing like that, because they didn't fall on there too. Nobody said anything about this. We don't like this ish around here. When they was doing it, it was drama. It was, oh yes, it was. And this is the husbands. They're not even the main cast members. Okay. They are not even the main cast members. But no. Hold on, y'all. I got more for you, okay? Nobody said anything back in the day when Adriana from The Real Housewives of Miami socked it to Joanna in the face when she punched her in the face. Oh, yes. Slapped her in the face during the season 2 party at Lisa Hochstein's house. Nobody said anything about that. Nobody said anything about it. It wasn't we don't, this show ain't Bad Girls Club. This show ain't nothing like that. Whoop, nothing like that. Okay. That's number 2 example that I'm gonna give you. And I can give you a whole lot more, but we're gonna continue on because nobody said anything back in the day when young Jacqueline Larita's daughter, Ashley, then yanked out Danielle Staub's weave back during season 2 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Nobody said anything about it, called it nothing like a Bad Girls Club, a Love and Hip Hop, or nothing like that. Nobody said anything about that, okay? Hold on, I ain't done yet, because nobody said anything when Danielle did this to Margaret. Danielle ran right up behind her at the urging, allegedly, of Teresa Giudice. Nobody said anything about this being low class. We don't do this stuff on this network. Nobody said anything like that. Let's take it a step further because you know I got another one. Nobody said anything about Tamara tossing that wine at Gina Q way back at the season finale. I cannot remember which season it was of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Nobody said a word about it because tossing wine at somebody is also considered an assault in some states. Okay, so for me, I just don't understand. I mean, yes, Teresa pushed Andy at the reunion. All these were made into major moments. You know what I'm saying? These were all types of, oh, yes, this is so scandalous. Yeah, get a girl, do it like that. But nobody said anything about it. Nobody. So for me, I just think that it's a double standard. And I don't like it because I just feel like, they will persecute, and I hate, there was something that Ebony K. Williams said on The View. Okay, thank you, Lady B. Something that Ebony K. Williams said on The View. She said, and I want to show it to you guys, and I hope they don't mind if I show it to you. I hope y'all don't mind if I show it to you because I like to show and not just tell. And I know that they had it on here. Give me 1 second. Ebony K. Williams said something very profound on The View, and I thought it was very, very interesting. A very good point of discussion. And I was going to talk about it the other day, but I didn't because I was just like, I think it's a given, and I don't know if it's much to actually elaborate on. But hold on for a second. Let me pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Listen, when we live, I might get a wild hair and something might just occur to me. But Ebony K. Williams says this. She says that reality TV is built on the backs of Black women. Okay, now I want you guys to notice the common thread here. Okay. Deuce Esquire says, let me pass this collection plate around. I want you to notice the common thread here. Is this notion of these types of shows being built on the backs of women, Black women. I would definitely say specifically Housewives, built on the backs of women in general, when you look at the common theme of it. And I would say that she's also correct when it comes to just the amount of like memes, the iconic phrases and stuff like that. Nene Leakes, I would say Tiffany Pollard, those are some of the women that really just, what I'm saying, set the bar for, memes, gifts, all kinds of things like that. That's not to say that, listen, it's a combination of all types of women. I definitely will say that. But, by and large, the most iconic moments in reality TV history, I mean, a lot of those are built around women. So I don't know. It was just the stories today just made me feel some type of way. And I just kind of wanted to give you these stories. And again, I'm not trying to come down on, Andy or Bravo in any way, shape, or form, other than to say, we had a super chat right here from Leandra, but other than to say that, if we're gonna, as the network and as somebody who is speaking as the face of the network, I just wish that he would sometimes have the same energy towards, some of the non-Black counterparts that he has towards the Black housewives and franchises. That's it. That's all I'm saying, because I think that there is maybe in a subconscious or an unconscious bias towards the non-Black housewives. I don't know. It just seems like they're held to a different standard sometimes. And I just have to say that because That's what it feels like. Leandra says facts. Reality TV took off after I Love New York on Flavor of Love. Black women been it, but don't get the recognition. So yeah, I mean, and I listen, trust me, I love the network. I feel like the network definitely provides jobs, opportunities for people, and it provides us with entertainment that we love. You know what I'm saying? But I just think when you speak about these types of instances, you have to be really careful about how you speak about them from a place specifically of non-judgment, because these things have been bringing you ratings for all of these years and it has not been a problem. Mrs. B. Moore, ATLian Stan says, Bravo started its come up on being Bobby Brown. Thank you, Phaedra and Whitney. Yeah, so I mean, you know, again, this ain't no shade to the network. This ain't no, it is just mainly just, I don't like to, I'm not a cancel culture type person. I'm a just hold you accountable and move on type person. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do in this moment right here. But when we got to call it out when we see it. And I felt like that just wasn't a cool statement to make. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to be messy or nothing like that. I'm just trying to give some truth and perspective to a situation from an observer who is watching these shows and who has been watching them over the years. And I know, because I've seen these things with my own two eyes, and there were no repercussions for any of those instances that I mentioned. No repercussions. No repercussions from the cast, and it's seemingly no repercussions from production, okay? Not that we know of, at least, not in the way that were made as public as it was with the altercation with Candiace and Monique. All these incidents occurred, and you're gonna say that this is where we draw the line. Okay. And that's that. I didn't really intend to go as hard as I did today, but I felt passionate. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's just food for thought. Food for thought as we continue to. I'm gonna keep watching the shows. I'm gonna keep supporting. I'm gonna keep talking about them. Oh, let me talk about Beverly Hills real quick, because I gotta tell y'all the truth. I fell asleep on it last night. Okay, I fell asleep probably I had 10 more minutes to go. A couple of key things that we learned last night. Apparently Erica knew that Tom was cheating on her. She didn't want to she didn't want to leave because she says she didn't have no access to her money. None. No access. Sir Capricorn says you said what need to be said. Thank you. Erica says she had no access to her money. When she got paid from Bravo, she said she would hand her check over to Tom like a diamond. Here, Tom, take this. One of the mistresses had texted Tom. She grabbed the phone and she texted back and said, nice tatas, B-I-T-C-H. The women on the show, what I saw last night that really infuriated me and almost made me turn it off was, as Erica was talking about Tom's downhill decline, and Andy was trying to ask the good questions, and Erica was really kind of skating around the question. My thing about it last night that bothered me the most was I felt like Andy was asking the questions that we wanted to know, but when Erica would not give us the answers to those questions, she would skate around it. He wouldn't cut through the BS and get right back to the question at hand. And I'm trying to think of a specific example of that. You know, a good question was this. If you didn't have any money and you didn't have access to your money, how was it that you were able to leave, get an apartment, pay for all of these extra things that you now have when you could not do it before? So she would not answer that question. And she said, I'm not going to answer that question, but it was within my legal bounds. What does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, for real. And as the lady, as he was talking about as she was talking about Tom's mental decline, allegedly, it was Erica. No, it was Lisa Rinna, Kyle, and Dorit were all scrambling to and talking over each other. They were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." They were talking over each other in their attempts to back up what she was saying, back up her claims. And I was just like, y'all are so thirsty for this woman's approval. And it just bothers me because I'm kind of like, why are y'all afraid of her? Why? Like, for real, for real. Like, what is it? Because at the end of the day, thank you so much, Glinda. I could see if they was afraid of Lisa Vanderpump. Because Lisa Vanderpump had obviously money and she had the influence over the show. But you are afraid of Erica, who by and large is just like the rest of us now. She ain't got no more power. She ain't got no more money. I mean, and I don't mean that in a bad way. She ain't got the money she used to have. I mean, in low key, allegedly, it won't even hers. I mean, according to what the streets are saying, the courts and the people who are trying to sue. So for me, I'm like, y'all are afraid of her for what reason? Is it because you know, and see, this is kind of what I think. Is it because you know that if she's still on the show, she's going to take up the spotlight and provide all the story, and you can kind of just skate by and do what you need to do in the background and let her fight it out with Sutton and the new girls? How about that? That's kind of what I feel like they are doing. Because I'm like, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Y'all all gonna, everybody, it's like Erica is saying, y'all, the sky is red. We know the sky don't turn red unless it's probably a fire outside, and ain't no fire outside right now. So I feel like what Erica will do is, in my opinion, she would be like, oh, the sky is red, y'all. The sky is red to me. And the rest of the ladies will say, well, you know what? I can so see how you see a red sky right now. The sun is kind of bright today. Oh, my sunglasses, they make it red too, girl. I see it. I see what you're talking about. And you have Sutton and Garcelle off to the side looking like, well, I still see a blue sky. I don't understand what's happening right now. But you know, Sutton at this point, she's too scared to say anything because every time she does, she get her head chopped off. Andy, I feel like is a little, I mean, no shade to Andy, but I feel like he's a little too scared to act, to really say, I don't see a red sky, girl. But instead, he just kind of sits there like, you know, and I feel like Crystal, she too new. She's still traumatized from everything she went through with Sutton. So she just off there on the end, dangling on, hanging on by a string, looking like, I don't want to say too much. Because next week, we know she's going to say something and ask Erica why she's not angry. And Erica going to snap on her and bite her head off. So, you know, honestly, these women are just running around afraid of this woman. For what? For what? I don't get it. Adrian Smith, thank you so much for the super chat. You know, it just be bothering me how they be trying to gaslight us into believing what she is saying to be true. Listen, I'm not saying that the woman, hear me when I say this. I'm not saying that the woman knew everything, because I think she probably didn't know everything, right? Because it's sometimes, listen, we don't always know everything, you know, our spouse or our partner might do business wise, because we don't always need to know. We trust that they're gonna be doing something that's above board, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I feel like the stories that she be giving us about him are what throw me off, and how they seem so cockamamie, and the women who are our team Erica are so afraid to say, the sky is not red, Erica. It is blue. Okay. In fact, it's gray today. Okay. How about that? It's gray today. It's not even sunny. There's no red in the sky. Nobody's saying that. Nobody. And then they expect us, the audience, to just be like, yeah, ooh. Yeah, you know what? They say it. We gotta believe it, because I like me some Kyle. You know, so if Kyle believe it, I'm definitely gonna be on board with Kyle. If Dorit, well, listen, Dorit done lost all credibility after yelling at Garcelle. But you know, it just gets tiresome because it's like we can see what y'all doing. Y'all know we can see y'all. We can see the puppet strings behind the curtain. Okay, we know what's happening. JMW says Tom probably was robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I thought it was beautiful seeing Kathy and Garcelle holding hands. Yeah, those other moments I feel like were kind of overshadowed to me by a lot of the Erica questioning. Any other moment between the ladies on, you know, Kathy, Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal, I enjoy because they feel more authentic to me. The other four just kind of feel like they are just operating the train, you know, and trying to control the narrative. And that's just what I feel. And it's hard to watch. Sir Capricorn says, how does she get her new place if she has all the money and she has no access? If he has all the money and no access, why didn't anyone ask that? Andy asked that question, and that's when she said, I'm not going to answer that, but just trust I was in my legal bounds to do so. I'm like, well, Houseway, how? Andrea says, you are preaching today, Richie. Personally, I don't watch Real House of Beverly Hills. Not my cup of tea, but I like to hear you recap the show. Yeah, listen, Andrea, it gets you upset. It'll get your blood boiling, okay? Miss Charlene says, it was a lot of Erica questioning, but no real answers. I should just lead us up because you just basically stated what happened last night. And that's that. Okay, y'all. So listen, I done worked myself into a frenzy. I think it's time to go eat some lunch. I love y'all so much. And don't get me wrong, listen, I love Bravo. I love everything that they're doing. But sometimes I got to ask the tough questions. And today we did. With that being said, y'all know I love y'all so much. We will be back tomorrow for more news and entertainment, commentary, all that good stuff like we always do. And you know what? Y'all be good today. Tell somebody else that you love them. And I will catch you guys in the next video.